Welcome to the Boston Bros Political Podcast. I am Jim Campanini, co-host of the show, with my good friend, Boston Herald political columnist, Peter Lucas. Peter, how are you today?
Good to be here. You haven't commented on my hat.
Peter, let me see your hat. Oh, that's a beautiful. How come I didn't get one?
Well, it cost $34. That's why.
Yeah. Well, you didn't comment on my hat either.
What's it say?
Well, it's. I'm ready for snow today.
Oh.
Snow is in the forecast. I can't stand it. I just came back from a nice vacation. I visited my daughter last week in Charlotte, North Carolina. We took a side trip to Charleston for a day. It was 70 degrees, Charleston,
Wow.
South Carolina. It was beautiful down there, you know. So now I come back. It's freezing up here, getting ready for the cold, raking leaves. Oh, man, I can't stand it. But one thing I am happy about, okay?
And that is?
Schumer's shutdown is planned.
You mean the government was shut down?
Yes.
I didn't notice.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I never noticed.
it's over, okay? And Thune's triumph. I think it's a triumph for Senator John Thune, all right? He's the
Majority leader in the Senate.
Yes,
Did a good
the
job.
Senate
Did a good job.
for the GOP. But I tell you, this was this last three weeks. They set a record, I guess. That's everybody reports about it. What, like 35, 36 days. The House has to vote on this.
41 days.
41 days. Okay. So now the Senate opened up the government, much to a lot of consternation and protest from a lot of Democrat senators. But you had to have 7 Democrat senators cross the aisle and 1 independent. So they got 8 votes to go with all the Republicans in order to open up the government. How is this thing going to play? Because there's a lot of backlash now. The Democrats were actually they voted 15 times to keep the government shut down.
And
yet at the same time, they complained that people were going to starve in the streets.
And both Elizabeth Warren and Eddie Markey, our 2 distinguished senators, have voted 15 times to keep the government closed, and they lost. The government is going to be opened. And I don't know why they continued to vote to keep the government shut down, because people were suffering. The airline industry was on the ropes. People were worried about Thanksgiving, traveling. People were worried about food, SNAP cutbacks, and so on and so forth. But our distinguished pair of senators continue to vote no.
Well, I think, I think as more and more people, if they want to be informed and they read about this and they see what was at stake here, they take the sane viewpoint of the 7 Democrat senators who finally, after a month, said enough is enough. We have to negotiate. We have to get government started, and we have to work with the Republicans to try to get a vote on Obama.
Jim, they don't even know why they voted to shut the government
I know
down.
it's just crazy. And while most polls show that it's evenly between who the people blame for the shutdown, so nothing was really gained by either party for doing something like this, except the Republicans, I think, are going to come out ahead because they wouldn't give in. They know the Obamacare is broken, and even some Democrats acknowledge that it needs reform. Not that health care is going to go away, public health care, the government health care, and they have to get together and work on it because it was ridiculous.
But to shut the government down over that was really stupid.
Yes, and put federal workers, out of work without a paycheck. Some get paid, but to put the air transportation system in jeopardy. I mean, it was callous. It was callous disregard for the people over party ideology. I mean,
It was party over people.
yes.
The party was more important than the well-being of the people they represent.
Yeah.
That's what it amounts
And
to.
I think Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are the big losers in this. And I think here's Pelosi when she didn't get her way, she announced she's going to retire after, 40 years, 50
Yeah,
years
and
of,
after
of growing her stock portfolio.
and
That's
make
all
a
she really did.
multimillionaire.
That's all she really did in her 4 decades or 5 decades of service in the House, because she was very mean spirited even when she was at the top of her game. And Schumer, I mean, he just vacillated this last year and a half because he knows that he's going to be challenged by that radical left in his own party.
Probably.
So rather than stick to any principles that he once had, okay, he goes to the dark side here with the AOC crowd, and he makes it a point, instead of caring about his own constituents in New York and people across the country who looked up to him, he was the one who tried to keep this coalition together, just keep the government closed.
He is concerned about his own well-being. He's up for re-election in 2028. He's 74 years old, and he'll be challenged in the primary by a radical leftist, probably by AOC, and he'll lose. And if there's any big loser in all of this, it's Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
He took a bad issue and ran with it, and he lost.
Yeah, and to think after 41 days, okay, the people who came together in the Senate to vote to reopen the government, it's the same deal that the Republicans put on the table, okay, 6 weeks ago. They said they promised them a vote on Obamacare, up or down. That's what was originally on the table. And Thune said, okay, we can negotiate, we'll have a vote on, but let's reopen the government and work on, some of these things and reforming, Obamacare. So it's the same thing that they...
Did you notice, among the 8 people who voted with the Republicans, the 7 Democrats and 1 independent, 3 of them were former governors. That's significant because a governor is an executive official who runs a government, runs a state government.
Yeah.
These senators don't run anything.
Yeah.
Outside of a staff.
And those 3 were from New England, weren't they?
Yeah.
Angus King, the independent from Maine, Hassan from New Hampshire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
Kelly, no.
No. It was the other senator, Shaheen,
Right.
Governor Shaheen from
Right.
New Hampshire, who's now the senator. So 3 senators from New England, okay, had to get this deal done, open the government.
And now-
you're exactly right. That executive leadership.
Right. They know how to run a government.
Yeah.
And none of
They
these
know what's at stake.
And senators don't run anything outside of a staff. What does Eddie Markey ever run? What does Elizabeth Warren ever run?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So I had to watch the other day on, I just wanted to watch it as the vote was taking place. I'm watching on TV, the Senate vote to reopen the government. And all I could see was Elizabeth Warren down on the floor in her. I mean, she only has one jacket. It's that blue jacket she always wears with the same outfit. That she's a fashion plate in those black pants.
She should burn her clothes and start all over again.
But she's down there on the floor, and I don't know what was being said, but she's talking to a couple of her colleagues. And all you could see is her head going back and forth. Like she's angry even when she's talking to her colleagues. She's like heckling and stuff. And I'm saying to myself, God, thank God that there are still some moderate Democrats, okay, who are willing to show their sanity and say, hey, enough is enough. Okay, they tried. Schumer tried. It didn't work. It wasn't working with the public. The public was getting more and more frustrated. And then you wonder why, the electorate goes and votes for these non-politician types, some being good, some being really bad, okay? And they elect them, and the Democrats and Republicans look at each other and say, how could they vote for that person? Because the system that we have right now, you're not listening. You're supposed to be the sane one. You're supposed to be the adult in the room. And here are all these adults down in Congress, and they couldn't get a deal together to end this thing right off the bat. The United States of America.
It was so bad you expected the Democrats to come out and say, look, shutting down the government is good for you.
Yeah,
That's how bad it was.
So, and here's the other thing. I mean, if you're looking at this from the outside and overseas, you're saying, wow, the Democrats shut down the government and they didn't want it to reopen. And then when the government does reopen, okay, and they promised the vote that they wanted, they're still against it.
I think a classic example is U.S. Rep. Seth Moulton, who's running for the Senate against 𝐓𝐡𝐞, is criticizing 𝐓𝐡𝐞 for not voting to oust Schumer as the leader in the Senate when they all voted to keep the government shut down. It's just absurd.
Yeah. And what are the so here it goes now. The House has to vote on this bill now to reopen the government. Okay, and so. You know it's going to pass because all the Republicans are going to vote for it. Democrats don't have enough votes, and it's not like a filibuster is involved, which is a certain limitation. So do you think any Democrats in our congressional delegation will say, okay, enough is enough, let's move on? Or are they going to vote to go along with the Senate proposal to reopen the government, or are they going to vote against this?
Jim, have another drink. That's what I think.
So you think all 9 will vote against? They want the government to be shut down. So that's what this vote.
My proposal is we have too many congressmen. There's 9. They all vote alike. So we're wasting a lot of money. We just should send 1 down and keep 8 here.
Well, I got to say, I am hoping, because I think the most intelligent a person in the congressional delegation is Richie Neal. Okay, I think he's the one that tends towards moderation. I would hope that Richie Neal would say, okay, we had a shot.
Richie has an opponent.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
So he's got an opponent, so he won't vote with the Senate proposal to reopen the government. So, and even Congresswoman Lori Trahan, you don't think that she'd stand up and show courage like those Democrats, the other Democrats from New England to vote in the Senate?
Lori Trahan will vote as she's told.
Yeah.
And she'll be told no, and she'll vote no.
Yeah. What a shame, I tell you. I mean, he took a shot. After 15 consecutive votes to keep the government closed, you think after this, hey, let's move on. And I think that's what the American people want from this Congress. Let's move on. Let's solve some problems. And press coverage. What did you think of the media coverage of this, the government shutdown?
Well, they did not give enough credit to the Republicans for holding the line to keep the government open. Because if it wasn't for them, the government would still be closed. And they will not get the credit. Trump will not get the credit. The Democrats hate Trump so much, they can't see straight. They can't think straight. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think we, hated the Germans during World War II as much as they hate Donald Trump.
Yeah. I think the recent election results in New York and Virginia, 2 places where the Democrats were going to win, were favored to win, okay? The governorships and the mayoral race in New York City, might have clouded their vision. I think they were reading too much into it. New Jersey, okay, I might have thought that the Republican candidate, Chiatarelli, and New Jersey might have had a shot against the Democrat candidate Cheryl, but she won, and she won handily. And but New Jersey is a Democratic state,
right?
But I think that clouded their vision. They think there was a groundswell across America. Those are 2 states where you were projected to win. You should win. It would be more of a major upset if a Republican did break through. But and they're looking at this groundswell across America, the gerrymandering of districts in California. The Republicans did it in Texas. The Democrats did it in California. I mean, I don't see it. People are not changing their viewpoints, I don't see, on any of
Well, any momentum the Democrats had from those two gubernatorial victories was very short-lived.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know
they
what
lost.
their strategy
They've
is.
lost big on the government shutdown.
Yeah.
I don't think
So,
they have a strategy.
I mean, when you look at the U.S. foreign policy,
How can you have a strategy when the new mayor of New York is a Muslim Islamist who hates Jews, and he's going to be the next governor of New York? How do you form a strategy? He's a rising star in the Democrat Party.
yeah.
How do you build a strategy around something like that?
Well, it's interesting to see that Elizabeth Warren now has a Republican candidate who is challenging her, Mr. Deaton, right? He's now running against. He came out and even though
He'd be running against Eddie Markey.
oh he's not, so she's still unopposed.
Yeah, she doesn't come up till 2028.
So he's running against Markey. Okay, I'm sorry. And even though he got clobbered last time,
He was defeated by Elizabeth Warren
yes,
last time around, yeah.
yes.
And now he's running against Eddie Markey.
Yeah, but he did get some pretty good. Well, he did get his name out there, first-time candidate. He got some exposure. Does he have a chance against whether it's Moulton or Markey? Does Mr. Deaton have a chance? You think?
He hasn't emerged really this time around. He's just announced, so it's hard to judge. He hasn't hit the campaign trail as far as I know, and he's a long shot at this point. Any Republican is a long shot. And this is Massachusetts we're talking about. This is a one-party state.
Yeah.
There are no Republicans.
But Peter, and I've said this before on the show, and you've written about it in your numerous columns that you write in the Boston Herald 3 times a week. I mean, there are cracks in the Democratic facade. The leadership in this state, from the State House to the governor's office to Congress. I mean, every day there seems like another negative story coming out of either Boston or Washington. And I mean, look at the Governor Healy's trusted the aide out in the western part of the state, Lamar Cook. He gets pinched for being a drug dealer right out of her office in Springfield.
A major drug dealer.
Okay, and now they're questioning the background check.
How did he get hired? How did he get hired?
And yet, here's Governor Healy, who promised to be transparent, and they don't want to give up any records about the hiring process, how he was hired or other people were hired.
Complete stonewall.
And I think people are starting to look at this and get suspicious. And that's not only that's only one incident, but look at the transportation secretary, Tibbetts Nutt, the transportation secretary. I mean, she wasn't ready for that job and stuff, and yet she got it and promised to tax the rich right off the bat. She had to walk that back, and there's been 4 or 5 other high-level people in the Healy cabinet who have either resigned or moved on. I mean, there's something going on in the state. You still got more state police scandals going on. I mean, people look around. Higher housing costs, higher costs all over the place, infrastructure problems. I mean, Massachusetts is losing some of its luster.
Well, she's lost half her cabinet. 6 of her 11 cabinet members, the official, when she first appointed them, they're all gone. They resigned.
See, I would think,
on.
okay, even if the state wouldn't elect...
Here's a column.
Yeah. Crack showing in Healy administration. Yeah, you wrote this a while ago, but you could do an update on this every week, I think.
Right. This is before the big drug bust.
Yeah, before the big drug bust. But I think if all these Democrats were challenged in office and there was a primary, we might have some different results.
Well, if you had somebody like Diane DiZoglio, the state auditor, running for governor in the primary, I think she could knock the governor off.
Really?
Well, she's one of the few people around who has a major, important issue, and that's auditing the Massachusetts legislature, which has been stymied on Beacon Hill, even though the public voted for it by 70% of the vote. And the powers at the State House, the governor, the attorney general, speaker, and the Senate president have stymied the process. And she can't get her people to audit the Massachusetts legislature, which the people voted for. That is a major issue.
Yeah, yeah. So it's.
But I don't think she's going to run.
No, she probably isn't going to win. The Democrats very rarely challenge each other, especially at that executive level. Even when it seems like the ship might be taking on water. I don't think it's I'm not saying it's going to sink, but they're definitely taking on water. The state is not. If you had to do a poll, is Massachusetts moving in the right direction? I think it'd be the best. It would be a 50-50 split, but I think it might be going the other way right now. So last comment on the shutdown situation. The government's reopened, so that will pass in the House. You think?
Oh, sure.
The Senate.
Yeah, and the president will sign it,
Yeah.
and the government will reopen.
Yeah.
And it's a sad commentary. It's a sad commentary in the process.
Yeah.
It's very sad that
I
we shut
think,
down the government for 41
I
days.
think 𝐁𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐧, Maggie Hassan.
And by the way,
New Hampshire.
everybody who shut the government down got paid.
Yeah.
All the congressmen, the senators, they all get paid.
Yeah, and I just want to finish my thought here. Maggie Hassan and 𝐁𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐬 from New Hampshire and Angus King from Maine. They get my Profiles in Courage Award
Maybe they'll go
of the week.
Maybe they'll go to the Kennedy Institute.
And you know what? You made a very, very good point because, they both have governors. They were governors on their resume, which that's why you are so astute. Yeah.
No, it's just that I've been around. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. So, turning to New York City, okay, it's still running. New York City is still running, but I read an interesting story that 4,000 of New York City's finest, okay, in the police department, have already put in their papers. At the end of December, they're retiring.
They'll be gone in January.
There are 34,000 police officers in the New York City Police Department. 34,000, think of that, in a city of 8 million. Okay, 4,000 have already put in their papers to retire. And the new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, has not put up the money for recruiting and to hire the academy, any new officers from the academy. Could you imagine New York City losing 4,000 police officers? And there's a reason why the 4,000 put in their papers. They don't want to work with this guy who is basically against arresting anybody.
Well, he was for defunding the police.
Yes, yes. I can't believe that. Now it's going to come. The consequences of the election are starting to come through. I mean, the fire chief resigned the day after the election.
Yeah, he was the first person to resign, the fire commissioner. He submitted his resignation the day after the election.
Yeah.
And watch for the police commissioner to be next.
Well, this would really get me because if you're into diversity, okay, which the Democrat Party is supposed to into a conclusion, you look at, I think her first name is Jennifer, her last name is Tisch, the police commissioner.
Tisch, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
He's done a hell of a job, by the way.
well, that's what I was going to say. She had to talk about breaking the glass ceiling. She went through hell when she was first appointed as police commissioner because everybody, a lot of people thought, oh, she's a woman and she shouldn't get this job. It's too tough for her. And you look at her, I mean, an impressive resume. She gets the job, and you know what? She's been as tough on crime as anybody, working within the restrictions that the New York City Council and
Mayor
Albany,
Adams.
Mayor Adams, the restrictions they put on her. She's cleaning up the mess.
Well, let me ask you this then. What do you think she's going to do when Mayor Mamdani orders her to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu when he comes to New York?
Yeah. Because he said he'd have Bibi arrested if he should come into New York.
What if Bibi goes to the UN,
Yeah.
of which Israel is a member?
Well, I hope she defies him and resigns. Okay. But you know, there are a lot of American Jewish voters who voted for Mamdani, which I was kind of surprised in the recent mayoral election.
You're right. New York, he wasn't foisted on New York City.
Right.
The people of New York, the majority of the people, almost 50%, maybe 50%, voted for him. A legitimate election. He's the mayor, and he is going to dish out what he promised. And part of it is to cut the police department, and replace police officers with social welfare workers.
To fund his agenda, he's already put out a goal. He wants to raise $10 billion by taxing the rich, and then he's going to give free grocery stores, government-run grocery stores, free transportation. He wants to do, I guess he wants to rent control and everything else. So we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
The greatest city
if he gets his way, he's going to turn New York into Kabul. Or maybe Tehran.
Okay.
Maybe
you
Tehran.
heard it first here from Peter Lucas. New York becomes Kabul. I had Kabul in the summers. It was pretty hot. So, all right. So, what's the latest on Kamala Harris? Did you read her book yet?
No, I'm saving it for the weekend.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something about Kamala Harris. If she campaigned as hard as she did selling her book, she might have been elected.
Yeah.
Right? She's everywhere.
I think that's what Bill Maher said to her.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere pushing this book, which nobody is buying.
Yeah. So
but, you can't turn on the TV without seeing her peddling her book. She's done more peddling the book than she did peddling herself running for president. It's amazing. It's amazing. She should have written the book before she ran for president.
So I think Kamala is done. I don't know. She might think. I think she's delusional. She might think that she's going to be a leading candidate for the 2028 Democratic Party nomination for president. But I can't see it, Peter. I can't see it.
No, there's too many new people coming up. There's a whole generation, and the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez generation are taking over the party. The left wing of the Democratic Party is taking over the entire party.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And guys like Schumer, that's the old Democratic Party, is gone. They couldn't stand up. They can't stand up to the left wing.
Yeah, I mean, her book, 107 Days, it just goes to show she was unorganized. She really didn't have anything to add to the political landscape.
And Joe Biden's going to come out with his book, 107 Nights. 107 Nightmares.
Yeah. So I think we've heard the last of Kamala, unless she gets maybe she'll get a Netflix series or something.
Well, she may make a movie.
Yeah.
With Meghan Markle.
So, hey, let's talk about one of your favorite judges in Massachusetts, Judge Shelly Joseph. Okay, they finally resolved this case.
No, it's not resolved. There's one more step, but go ahead.
Okay, but come on. She gets a slap in the wrist. Now, when I read this story and I mean, these were serious charges. A judge allowing an illegal immigrant convict. He was a criminal. He was a criminal. He's in court in Newton, and she allowed him to avoid ICE that was waiting to get him on a detainer.
There were two ICE agents waiting. Well, she kicked them out of the courtroom. They had to wait out in the lobby.
So this case has gone on for 3 years now.
Yeah,
over 3 years. Okay.
It began when the agents showed up to arrest him on other charges, and he was in the court. before her.
Right.
And
Shelly Joseph.
she kicked the two agents out. They had to wait out in the hallway, expecting they would get him anyway. And then for under her jurisdiction, he was let out the back door and escaped.
Yes. Yes.
And then she was indicted by Andrew Lelling, the U.S. attorney, for obstruction of justice. And then what happened was Donald Trump was defeated, and Lelling had been appointed by him. Joe Biden came, and there was a new U.S. attorney appointed in Rhode Island who was instructed to review the case, in quotes. And 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐁𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐨𝐧 was his name. He reviewed the case and recommended that the charges be dropped. So under a Democratic administration, the charges against Shelly Joseph, who was an active Democrat before she was a judge, were dropped. And the recommendation was that the case go before the Judicial Commission for a further hearing. And they decided, after an investigation, to slap her on the wrist.
Right. They hired an independent arbiter to come in. He's from upstate New York.
Right.
Mr. McInerney. And he wrote a 117-page report where he basically says, "Oh, well, she was an innocent victim."
The report reads like fan mail.
Yes.
How wonderful Judge Joseph was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was really inexperienced, and she didn't know what she was doing. And this thing
that's
happened.
the part that I find I can't believe. I mean, he basically gives, he basically lays this whole thing on the defense counsel, who was hired that morning, that day, to defend this rat. Okay, and the guy came up with this scheme to talk to his client and basically let him out the back door. But what gets me is, here's Shelly Joseph, the judge, okay, and even though it was her first day in Newton District Court, and she basically told this arbiter, "Oh, well, I didn't understand the entire protocol." Could you imagine a judge saying that?
No.
And she shut up when the defense attorney, his name was Jelinek, okay, he asked for a sidebar. Now, you're not supposed to turn off the tape recorder,
Right?
Even for a sidebar,
Right?
And she turned off the tape recorder for
Right.
52 seconds while this Jelinek supposedly hatched this scheme.
Right.
Now, with the recorder off, it was Judge Joseph's word against Jelinek's word, and this is what it comes down to. And the arbiter sided with Joseph, said, "Oh, no, she didn't say that. She didn't know about Jelinek's plan to basically let the guy go down the back steps with a court officer who also took a hit in this report." So they put it on the court officer and the defense attorney.
And she walks.
And she walks.
One person I don't think was interviewed for this report was Andrew Lelling,
Yeah.
the U.S. attorney who brought the charges in the first place.
He should have been.
Of course he should have been.
So it just goes to show you Massachusetts justice. But it took 3 years to resolve this case, which was cut and dried. It got a lot of press. She let this guy go out. The ICE agents, she made them wait out in the lobby, and he went out the back door. ICE eventually got this guy, outside on the sidewalk when they saw what was happening, but they had to chase him down.
All right. Meanwhile, there's a similar case in Milwaukee. Out there, like in Massachusetts, a county judge by the name of Hannah Dugan, also let a wanted illegal immigrant out the back door of her courtroom, while ICE agents, like in Massachusetts, were waiting out front to pick him up. And unlike here, not only was she indicted, as Judge Joseph was, but she's going to stand trial. Her trial will begin in December. And if she's found guilty, she can face up to 6 years in prison.
Is this in federal court? Yeah.
This is in federal court.
Wow.
The case is exactly similar to the case in Massachusetts. Only in Massachusetts, one judge walks, and in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, another judge potentially could go to prison.
Yeah. And the thing
over the same crime.
Yeah. the thing that gets me is the double standard, okay, among these judicial proceedings, and if you're a Democrat, it seems that you get one type of justice. If you're a Republican, you get a different.
And nobody is above the law.
And no one is above
except
the law.
certain people.
So what's going to happen? I can just see, because McInerney, the independent arbiter in this case, he said that he found Jelinek explanation about that 52 seconds that was, basically in the cloud. No one knows what happened in that discussion. Okay, he called his explanation implausible. So now you wonder if the Judicial Board Council of Judicial Conduct now is going to go after the defense attorney, because no one is being held accountable in this case. No one. The court officer got a reprimand. I don't know if he got suspended, but Shelly Joseph, she was suspended for 3 years, but she got her pay.
She was
full
paid.
pay.
Let me tell you something. The court officer would not do anything without the judge's approval.
Absolutely.
That's a given.
So
a moron knows that.
Yeah.
And this guy who conducted the hearing, he knows that too.
Yeah. So
and to put it on the court officer is a disgrace.
Yeah. And it just goes to show. Show you how people sometimes lose their faith in the institutions that we hold in high esteem. It's just another chink in the armor. Okay.
Well, one further step. This recommendation that she just be a slap on the wrist, it goes before the Supreme Judicial Court.
Yeah.
That's the final arbiter to accept this or not, and they'll accept it.
Yeah, and all she's going to get is a reprimand in her file.
Well, they're all Democrats.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the state's taxpayers are picking up the tab for her defense attorneys in her representation. She doesn't even have to pay for that.
Not only that, she's been paid $200,000 even when she was suspended.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the final slap in the face would be if Judge Shelly Joseph now sues the state for false investigation or whatever. We'll see.
No, she may, under this administration, she may get promoted to the Supreme Court.
Wow. Okay, so you always find something interesting in the Boston Herald, okay?
I hope so.
I think it's fact-based. It's a fact-based newspaper. And and reading one of your colleagues, 𝐓𝐡𝐞 columns, okay, over the last week, because a lot was made of, the Republicans gerrymandering these districts, congressional districts, and Trump was telling the Republicans do it now in Texas and other places, and then the Democrats picked up on it, and Gavin Newsom did the same in California. Well, it was interesting to read 𝐓𝐡𝐞's column, and he starts it off. Can we talk about gerrymandering? And here's the line that got me. A year ago, in the 6 New England states, 3,095,520 people voted for Donald J. Trump. That works out to 41% of the overall electorate. I couldn't believe that. 41% of the overall electorate, and mostly liberal New England voted for Donald Trump. Well, here's the crowning thing. New England has 21 of the 431 members of the U.S. House of Representatives. Guess how many congressmen are Republicans from New England? Guess how many?
Zero.
So you would think that, if the presidential candidate from the Republican Party gets 41% of the vote, you'd have at least one district that voted for the Republican for Congress. No, none. So he just said Democrats with 59% of the voters control 100% of the 21 seats in Congress. That's amazing. That is amazing. And yet, you know, the Boston Globe every day talks about, they criticize Trump for trying to redistrict to give it a fair system for Republican candidates.
Can you recall who the last Republican congressperson was from Massachusetts?
Yes, Blute. Peter Blute?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long ago was that?
I don't know. Going on 20 years?
Go back to the well days, the 90s.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
Blute
Blute talk.
That's the last time we had a Republican.
Yeah.
And even though 40% of the people voted for, 38% of the people voted for Donald Trump,
Yeah.
we don't have any Republican congresspeople.
No. And Scott Brown was the last senator, and he got that because of the death of Ted Kennedy. But before that, it was Ed Brooke, right?
Yeah.
Senator Ed Brooke. Yeah. But I just saw those numbers, and I was startled. And I said, it's unbelievable. It's really how do you break out of that? How do you change that? I mean, even in the second district in Maine, which is the only district where Trump won an electoral vote because it's heavily Republican, they've got a Democrat congressman because they got the choice ranked voting. And your colleague Howie Cobb goes on, it's amazing. The Democrats find a way, whether it's mail-in ballots or absentee ballots or ranked voting to get a Democrat elected.
Ranked voting means you keep counting the votes until your guy wins.
Yeah. So, but it is classic. So New England likes to criticize when Republican governors and legislators redistrict, but here we are in a 6-state region, and it's so solid. It's the lines are drawn just to keep Democrats in office. Right. Oh man! So
in Massachusetts, the Republicans, they hold no statewide office. They hold no congressional seats. I think there's like 2 sheriffs who are Republicans in Massachusetts out of the 14.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe a couple of county commissioners out in Berkshire. And that's about it.
Yeah. What was the percentage of the popular vote in Massachusetts for Donald Trump? Did he get 38% of the vote?
I think he got 39%, I believe.
It was
Even
the
in
largest increase of any state.
Yes.
Percentage.
Yes. Yeah. So something's going on there. Anyway, but all right. So Peter, what's going on? What are you writing about this week?
Well, I got to look into the story about John F. Kennedy's grandson.
Yeah.
Is going to run for Congress in New York.
Yeah. Is that Schlossberg?
Schlossberg, yeah. Kind of a weird kid, but it's very interesting that that's how Jack Kennedy began his long political career, running for Congress in 1946 in Boston, congressional district, which, included Somerville, Cambridge, and so on. And he won, and now all these years later, his grandson, kind of a weird kid.
Yeah, he's got some controversy background. I didn't see.
He's running for Congress in New York.
Now, this is Caroline's son.
Yes.
Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg. Yeah.
Right. She married Schlossberg, and this is Jack Schlossberg, and he's the only male offspring of JFK.
Is this the rebirth of Camelot?
I don't doubt it. I doubt it. This is like a new wave. But this is New York. They elected Zohran Mamdani. I mean, who knows what's going on in New York?
No, I just saw a headline in the Post this morning. I didn't read it. I saw the online edition. It said Caroline does not want her son to run for Congress. But I didn't get the full report. And there was a headline saying this is a controversial candidate. What has Schlossberg got in his past? Do you know anything about him?
Well, yeah, he's been on the internet quite a bit, and he's put out some weird things.
Yeah.
And he's been very vocal in his attack on his cousin there, RFK Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
he said some really outlandish things, but he doesn't carry the Kennedy name per se. But even though he's a Kennedy, we'll see how it turns out. I'm not sure he's a serious candidate.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Talk about.
Put it this way: he's no JFK.
Yeah. talk about the okay. So you'll be writing about that. What's you're gonna column tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow we have a column. We have a column Saturday.
What are you writing tomorrow?
I don't know. I forget. I put out so many columns. Let's see. Tomorrow we're doing on the probably what we've been talking about, the shutdown and what it meant and
Winners and losers.
what Massachusetts, our role in it, and how our Congress people and senators voted against it, and what it means for Eddie Markey and Seth Moulton, who was challenging him.
Last census count, we have 360 million citizens in the United States. Okay, did you in your vast knowledge and resources and the people you talk to, do you know of any American who starved over the last 41 days?
I wrote a while back, there's nobody going to starve in this country. Nobody starves in this country unless you want to, unless you're on a mission to, nobody starves in this country.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I didn't hear any.
Well, just look around, see how many fat people there are. I mean, all the
and
I don't mean you. I don't mean that.
Isn't that funny? I have
I didn't mean him.
after church on Sunday, I have a coffee clutch, and that was one of the first questions. I mean, yeah, people said, Jesus, how can anybody, starve in this country? We got the highest obesity rate, and I said, here we go, and but it's right. I mean, it's the first thing on people's minds. Maybe we should have a little a federal shutdown every couple of years just to get people back in shape or something. I don't know.
All these little kids are so.
Well, you get free lunches and free lunch and breakfast in school. So at least for 9 months a year, you're gonna, your kids aren't gonna starve.
And they're
right?
not drinking skim milk either,
And all this stuff about the food pantries. The churches. They take care. That's what community is about, and they take care of people, even if the federal government goes insane for a while. But it's just crazy the way the media covered this and made the sky is falling and everything else. But regardless, it's just crazy. I'm glad it's over. I hope the House, all the GOP House members vote in unison to reopen the government, and that some Democrats will show some courage and some sanity and vote with them and say, hey, enough is enough. Let's get on with this. Let's reform Obamacare. Let's take care of the American people instead of ourselves.
You're dreaming. So I'm just going to clean the golf clubs and put them away for the year.
Yeah, I already did that.
Okay.
So I just have to mention this one thing. My two heroes of the week. I got my heroes of the week. If you notice, I don't know if you watched the Fox Nation Patriots Awards last Thursday night.
No, I did not.
So this was the 7th year that the Fox News station, they honor the courageous people from throughout America. They give awards out and people who stand up for freedom, free speech, and stuff like that. So they went, and there were two Oregon female high school athletes who they honored for courage. These were two girls who finished, at the Oregon Schoolgirl Activities Association's high jump state championship last May. They finished second and third respectively, or third and fourth, whatever. They finished, but a transgender male came in 5th place and won a medal, pushing out a girl competitor who finished 6th, okay? And they refused to stand on the podium with the transgender athlete. So they stepped down, put their back towards the podium as the Oregon state officials took photos. And then they wanted their photo taken separately. Okay, they said, well, we finished 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd or 4th, whatever it was, and they said we deserve our own photo, and we want to be with the girls and stuff. They refused to take their photo. They vilified them, okay, and gave them, gave them a lot of crap, basically not standing up there and everything else. So they've both gone on to separate colleges now. Where they played track and field, and they've sued the Oregon Activities Association, which is like our MIAA in Massachusetts and stuff, and they've been successful in getting the case heard, and they're probably going to get a settlement because Oregon has been exposed, and a lot of parents now have come out on their side.
Good.
and raised them. So they were honored this past week. Their name is Alexa Anderson, a freshman now competing in the pole vault at the University of South Alabama, and Reese Eckard, a member of the Biola University women's track and field team. Okay? So I just have to give them credit because they both took a lot. They were shamed on the internet. These groups, these small groups, they go out there, they attack them. And I just want to read a quote from Eckert when she accepted the award at the Fox program. She says, "I want to start off by thanking God. I thank God that you're all here tonight. I thank God that he gave Alexa and I the courage to stand for the truth. There are so many girls that deserve this award for their courage." And she was basically standing up for the girls who are battling, transgender males in their own sports throughout the country where sanity is not taking hold. And even amongst our own congressional delegation, Seth Moulton originally came out and said he didn't want his two daughters playing against transgender males. Then he was vilified by his own party and he backed off.
Yeah.
But no one has really come out and stuck up for the girls in this state.
That's good. That's good to give them the credit. I just want to give a shout out to the Massachusetts State Police who have taken it on the chin recently, but their role over the weekend in arresting 56 individuals on child sex exploitation charges.
Yes.
So good for them. 56 people arrested
In the western part of the state.
part of Massachusetts.
Springfield, Pittsfield, boy,
And
amazing.
And the state police did an outstanding job.
Yes, and it just goes to show you, I know that the state police have taken their hits, a few bad apples and stuff over the last couple of years, but there are a lot of good state police and local police working very, very hard to keep us protected and to do the best they can with some of the restrictions that they're now facing from some of these wacky liberals.
Right.
Well, Peter, that's a great show, a great week. I wish you the best. I love that hat, and I hope you can get me one. I'm going to give you the $3. Yeah, and so until our next show, we're signing off. You have a great, great week.